Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm a first generation college student, born and raised in Brooklyn, East New York. I'm the president of a Men of Color organization here at the college, SUNY Brockport. I'm also a National Newman Civic Fellow. Um, I'm passionate about social justice, definitely. I'm also adaptive physical education major, which is a concentration in working with kids that have a disability.
Why that major?
Why the major?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I first graduated from high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do going into college. I kind of did liberal arts for 2 years and graduated from Queensborough Community College, and then I transferred to SUNY Brockport. But in the process of all of that, I just started thinking about some of the things that I was really good at and some of the things that I was passionate about. And in the beginning, I was thinking I should be an English major because I love to read and write. But I'm too hands-on, and I would not be able to just stand in the classroom and just talk for hours. That's not my personality. So, I was also an athlete. I played football. I ran track and I boxed for a point in time. So I was like, physical education has allowed me to stay physically fit. But I also wanted to help people. So the concentration in adaptive would allow me to work with kids that have a disability in education. So that was the reason why I chose it. And Brockport was the best school. It was either here or Cortland. So that's why I came here.
You mentioned the things that you do on campus. Can you go into that?
So the things I do here on campus, I'm surprised that I do some of the things that I have done on this campus. When I first came here from the inner city, it was definitely a culture shock. And I actually had a racist roommate my first semester here at the college. So that kind of woke me up, like, wait a minute, like, racism is real. Microaggressions, this stuff is real. Like, this is not stuff you read about or you just see on TV. So as I was going through it personally, it made me passionate about the issues myself. So I had joined the movement organization my first semester here, and I was the director of programming. So my job was to make students aware of the events that we have and then go about how I'm going to promote the event and grab the students' attention to bring them to our event. And from there, I was actually I started this year with being the academic coordinator for Men of Color. And within a few weeks, I moved up to the president of Men of Color. And since then, some of the things that I have been doing, the first thing that I actually did was reach out to University Police and Brockport Police and try to collab for Brockport Night Out, which happened in the beginning of September. And the goal of the event was to bridge the gap between students and students of color, and particularly in the police here in Brockport, because there's a big disconnection between the two. And I just feel like bringing both parties together would be a really good way for us to all get to know each other, and see each other for just human beings. Because I feel like a lot of a lot of issues here at the college with the police and the students of color in particular. And it's like, this is time to get to know students of color for just students and not the color of their skin. And this is the perfect time for students of color to get to know officers for just a human being and not their uniform.
Why the transition from the movement to Men of Color?
I guess with any organization, sometimes, I don't know. For me, it was just more of if I'm part of an organization that don't align with my goals and the things that I believe, I distance myself from it.
So what are Men of Color goals?
Men of Color goals is empowermenting our men on this campus, learning, growing, and giving back, and helping develop our community and building a better Brockport.
What are the things you do besides your club?
Besides my club, I'm an RA on campus. I'm a National Newman Civic Fellow, so I won this fellowship last year, spring semester 2017. And the fellowship is a national fellowship to represent the college. And I was nominated due to my dedication to social justice issues and constantly just fighting a fight on campus.
What made you want to be a RA?
What made me I first transitioned into college, I had a cool RA, but I also seen what it was like to not have a RA that looks like me. So for me, it was more of like, with the skills that I have and the things that I bring to the table, I felt that being an RA, I'll be able to help students that transition into college, help them with that transition into college, and also make sure that their voice is being heard. So yeah, that was my reason, to support students.
Do you consider yourself a leader?
So I mean, I don't view it as a leader, but I guess it's called. I mean, it's leadership skills, but me personally, I just do what's morally right, and what I feel like what I feel is right, and the things that men of color should be doing. I think the things that we do, I feel like this is what we should be doing, and I don't really view it as leadership skills, and I don't know.
You mentioned a lot of things on campus. What are things like you do, like not in the Brockport area, and not for like Brockport purposes, like?
Not for Brockport purposes. Okay.
Yeah, what are things you do outside of Brockport?
Well, when I'm back home in New York City, I go back to my high school and speak to students in the classroom, tell them my experience in college and things that I wish I knew transitioning to college, and things that I wish I knew when I was in high school.
Okay, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, I see myself owning my own business.
What kind of business?
That I do not know yet.
Okay, so you're currently a senior, right?
Yes.
What are your future plans after Brockport?
I'm going straight into my grad to get a master's in public administration.
Are there any challenges you face, like being a college student or being that you're a student of color?
Of course. Being a college student, being a student of color, you can start there. Sometimes it's hard being a minority and at a college like this. This is my first time being away from home, and back home I'm part of the majority. So me transitioning here, my first year was really hard for me. It was a difficult transition to be the minority, to not feel supported, to not feel heard, to have hate crimes happening on this campus. It's a lot, and to this day I still believe and feel like there's a lot of segregation on this campus. So I think it was hard, but I'm at a point where I'm used to it, and it's easy to sit around complaining about everything going wrong on this campus when there's also a lot of positive things going on. And if things are really going wrong, and I feel how I feel, and other students of color that feel how they feel, it's not going to help us to sit there and keep talking about it. We have to do something about it.
If you was to die right now, what kind of impact do you think you would leave on others?
I would say my perspective is different than a lot of people. So I would say I give people a lot of different perspectives on different situations.
How would you think somebody would describe you?
Outspoken, definitely outspoken. Listen very well. I definitely speak my mind. I do not bite my tongue. Somebody will tell you that. But really thoughtful in the things that I say and the things that I do, and say that I'm a person that really care about what's going on here.
Okay, so you do a lot of leadership work, and you have a lot of leadership positions. Tell me about someone who has influenced you in your decisions you have made, or you just doing this for yourself.
Somebody that influenced me here in Brockport or outside anywhere.
Anywhere.
My big number one influence is my community back home, because where I come from is more of where I come from, I feel like I grew up in a bubble, and a lot of us grew up in a bubble of the only thing we know is what's in front of us. And when I left that bubble and came upstate to Brockport, I started realizing we home and we doing so much harm to each other. But when you get out in the real world, there's a lot of obstacles and like lack of access and opportunities for students of color that we're not even aware of. And not only students of color, just people of color in general. There's a lot of barriers placed in front of us. There's a lot of access that some of us do not have. And coming to Brockport, realizing that the lack of opportunities and the lack of hope and believing in ourselves and the low self-esteem you see in other students, and it's so much. And that's what actually keep me motivated and keep me going. Like, so if I'm aware of this now, I have to continue to grind and learn these things and share it with people that grew up just like me, that come from areas just like me, so they know that it's possible to be whoever you want to be and to go wherever you want to go.
What might someone be surprised to know about you?
Surprised to know? I'm a first generation college student. A lot of people will probably be surprised and think that I come from a well put together family or a middle class family, which I have been told. You know, people are surprised sometimes when I say I'm a first generation, and I really don't know. I think that would really be it.
Do you have anything you live by, like any quotes or anything that you live by? Any morals?
Morals, stand on what you believe. Do not change what you strongly believe because everyone else disagrees with you. And I say that from my perspective is, even when I first became the president of Men of Color, some things that I would bring up, people would be like, what? You can't do that because this never happened, or we don't do that, or that's not common. And it's like, so if you constantly keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting change, that's insanity. So now when you stick to what you believe and say, no, we're going to give this a try, and you do it and it's successful, now people understand. Everybody's not going to always see, and I learned this, people are not going to always see your vision until sometime it's done. You get what I'm saying? And after the work is done, they say, oh, now I see what you did. So sometime, like Martin Luther King and the Malcolm X's, those are the people that really made change, and they had ideas and they did things not everybody else did, or they had visions not everybody seen. And then once they started to execute and people started understanding that, that's exactly when people say, you know what, whoa, what that dude is doing is powerful. And now I want to join him. And now I see what he was saying in his point of view. So I said that to say, don't change what you believe, and don't to change the things that you stand on and your morals because somebody else disagree or they bring a different perspective.